As a Harvard and Cambridge trained psychologist, I have spent decades advising Wall Street executives, high net worth individuals, governments, and elite performers, including the corporations of the world, on the architecture of power and money. And here is a clinical truth that keeps the middle class trapped that I found in my life. Success is not luck, it is a planned design. Right now, your financial reality is entirely dictated by your psychological blueprint. In part 1 of this masterclass, we are going to dismantle your scarcity loops, neutralize your financial trauma, and install a brain that literally prints money. Grab a notebook. Let us look at the data.
Money doesn't care about your intelligence. It cares about your story. Right now, 73% of people entering 2026 will repeat the exact money story from 2025. Not because they're unlucky. Because their internal narrative is stuck on survival mode. Your brain believes money is scarce. So your decisions reflect that belief. And your results confirm it. But here's what neuroscience proves: wealthy people don't think differently about money. They think about possibility. They don't say, "I can't afford this." They ask, "How can I afford this?" That tiny shift rewires your brain's pattern recognition system. Your brain starts spotting opportunities it couldn't see before. Your scarcity story came from somewhere: parents, trauma, environment. But tonight, you can rewrite it. Not with fake affirmations. With one specific decision: money flows to me through my unique skills. Then prove it to yourself by January 2nd, take one action toward generating income. Comment, "I'm abundant," if you're done thinking poor. Then follow, because tomorrow the internet will sell you get-rich-quick schemes. But you'll know the truth: abundance starts with the story you tell yourself about what's possible. Subscribe for psychology that explains your wallet, not just your mind.
Now, you just saw the data. 73% of people are financially paralyzed by a story they didn't even write. To break out of that statistic, we have to start at the neurological root. Yes, scarcity is not a bank account balance. It's a brain condition, your brain condition. We must interrupt it. In this next module, you will learn the 3-step narrative rewrite to permanently stop thinking poor.
Money doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your brain. In part 1, you heard this. Money doesn't care about your intelligence. It cares about your story. Today, in part 2, you're going to see that story. You're going to find the exact sentences in your mind that are quietly keeping you broke. And you're going to replace them with something far more dangerous. A brain that cannot stay in scarcity. In the short, we talked about one shift. From, "I can't afford this" to, "How can I afford this?" That wasn't just motivation. Neuroscience shows that a scarcity mindset literally changes how your brain processes value and opportunity. When you feel scarce, the brain shifts into survival mode. Activity increases in areas that scan for threat and short-term relief, and decreases in the regions that handle long-term planning, strategy, and goal-directed decisions. Translation: you don't just feel poor. Your brain starts to think poor. You underprice yourself. You say yes to bad deals. You scroll instead of building. You protect what you have instead of creating something bigger. Not because you're lazy. Because your nervous system is convinced you are one wrong move away from losing everything. Let's go deeper. Financial psychologists call this your money narrative, the story you tell yourself about what money means and what you deserve. There are stories like, "Money corrupts." Good people don't care about money. People like us never really get ahead. If I succeed, I'll lose my friends or my family. I'm just not the kind of person who makes a lot. These sentences sound harmless. But every belief writes code in your brain. If your story is, wealthy people are greedy, your subconscious will sabotage any path that makes you look like the greedy person you've been warned about. If your story is, I always mess up with money, your brain will filter out opportunities that prove the opposite. And zoom in on every tiny mistake so it can say, see? I was right. This is behavioral finance in real life. Your emotions and beliefs drive your money decisions way more than logic ever will. So, here's the part most videos skip. You're not just going to listen. You're going to do this with me. If you can, grab a notebook or open a notes app. When I think about money, I secretly believe. Now, no filters. Finish that sentence 5 times. There's never enough. People like me don't get rich. I'm not smart enough to manage it. If I had more, people would use me. I'll lose it anyway, so why try? Whatever comes out is your raw money story. Not the one you post on social media. The one your nervous system actually trusts. These are not just sentences. They are instructions your brain uses to filter reality. If your story is, there's never enough, then every bill feels like proof. And every opportunity feels like a threat. If your story is, I don't deserve more, then every time money starts to rise, you unconsciously find a way to push it back down, overspending, undercharging. Now, let's zoom in on the neuroscience. Researchers comparing scarcity and abundance mindsets found something wild. When you feel scarce, your brain narrows its focus. You become obsessed with the immediate problem. This bill. This due date. This emergency. Short-term tunnel vision. Long-term blindness. In this state, the brain overvalues quick fixes, undervalues long-term investments, reacts instead of creates. That's why people in chronic financial stress take high-interest loans, stay in underpaid jobs, avoid looking at their accounts at all. Again, not stupidity. It's survival. Abundance, on the other hand, is not I'm a millionaire already. It's the felt sense of, I have enough to think clearly. And when the brain feels that, future planning regions light up. Creativity and problem-solving improve. You can see options you literally could not see before. That's why gratitude is not just spiritual, it's strategic. People who practice noticing what they already have train their brain to relax out of emergency mode and into opportunity mode. Let's name 3 of the most common money stories so you can hear yourself inside them. 1. The avoider story. I'll deal with it later. You avoid checking accounts, ignore debt, delay difficult money conversations. Underneath? A belief like, if I look, I'll confirm I'm failing. Your brain chooses short-term emotional comfort over long-term financial relief. 2. The martyr story. As long as everyone else is okay, I'm fine. You overgive, undercharge, lend money you can't afford, work for free for exposure. Underneath? I only deserve money if I'm suffering for it. Or, if I charge my worth, people will leave. 3. The status story. I need to look successful. You upgrade lifestyle too fast, buy to impress, chase visible markers of wealth. Underneath? If I don't look rich, I don't matter. My worth is equal to my net worth. None of these make you a bad person. They make you a human with unexamined stories. And remember, you didn't write most of these. They were installed by parents fighting about bills. Hearing, we can't afford that, on repeat. Religion or culture that framed wealth as greedy. Social media that equates luxury with value. Now comes the part you were waiting for. How do you actually stop thinking poor? Without just lying to yourself with fake affirmations? We're going to use a 3-step rewrite. Step 1, expose the old code. Take one belief from your list and write. My old money story is, ____________. For example. My old money story is, people like me never get ahead. Say it out loud. Hear how heavy it feels in your body. That heaviness is your nervous system saying, this is familiar. Not true. Just familiar. Step 2, upgrade the story to possibility, not fantasy. We're not jumping from, I'm always broke, to, I'm a billionaire tomorrow. We're shifting from impossible to possible. So rewrite it as, my new money story is, people like me learn the skills to get ahead. Or, money flows to me through my unique skills, and I'm learning how to manage it well. Notice the difference. It doesn't deny your current reality. It opens a door instead of slamming one. Step 3, prove it with one visible action. Your brain doesn't fully believe words. It believes evidence. So you ask, if this new story were true, what is one action I would take this week? Examples. Open a separate account labeled Future Me and transfer even a small amount. Raise your freelance rate by 10%. Block one impulsive spending app with a limit. Read one chapter of a money psychology or personal finance book. That one action becomes neural proof. Your brain goes, wait. Maybe we are someone who moves differently with money now. To lock this in, you need a simple daily practice that shifts your brain out of constant scarcity. Here's a 5-minute abundant brain routine you can start tomorrow. 1. 60 seconds, notice enough. Write down 3 ways you currently have enough today. Enough food. Enough knowledge. Enough skills. Enough connections. This doesn't ignore hardship. It tells your brain, we are not in immediate death-level danger. Which is what it needs to stop panicking and start planning. 2. 2 minutes, opportunity scan. Ask, if money really could flow through my unique skills, what is one way that could happen this month? Brainstorm without judging. A small paid session. A template or digital product. A collaboration. A side project. You're training your brain to look for, how can I afford this, instead of, I can't. 3. 2 minutes, one brave money move. Choose one micro action. Send the message. Post the offer. Update the price. Move the money. Tiny moves. Repeated daily. This is how abundance becomes a habit, not a hashtag. Here's the hardest truth about money. You did not choose the money story you were born into. But you are 100% responsible for whether it is the story you die with. Maybe you grew up hearing, we can't afford it. Rich people are selfish. Be grateful you have anything at all. Those sentences protected you once. They helped your family survive real scarcity. But now? They are too small for the life you are secretly dreaming about. So here's your moment. You can keep running 2026 on the same survival code. Or you can decide, today, to become the person whose brain cannot stay in scarcity for long. Not because you're delusional. Because you've trained your thoughts, your habits, and your nervous system to look for possibility. If this video hit something deep in you, do 2 things. 1. Comment I'm abundant. But this time, add one sentence of your new money story. I'm abundant, and money flows to me through dash. 2. Share this with one person who always says, I'm just not a money person. They don't need more shame. They need a new story. And if you want more deep psychology like this, where neuroscience meets real-life money decisions, hit subscribe. Because from this moment forward, every video is designed to do one thing. Rewrite the story your brain believes about what's financially possible for you.
Erasing the scarcity mindset is only step 1. Nature abaves a vacuum. If we don't build a new system in its place, the old broke habits will return. Now we transition from defense to offense. Yes, we are going to architect your systems. From earning power training to strict anti-sabotage rules, this is how you build a brain that prints money.
In part 1, you realized money doesn't care about your intelligence. It cares about your story. In part 2, you exposed that story and started to rewrite it. Part 3 is different. This is where we stop talking about abundance and start building a system that forces your brain to think like a wealthy person, even on days when you feel broke, tired, or terrified. Because wealthy people don't just have different beliefs. They have different defaults. Quick recap. Scarcity hijacks your brain, pushes you into short-term survival, and makes you miss long-term opportunities. Your money narrative, people like me never get ahead, I'm bad with money, acts like code that your brain blindly follows. We began rewriting that code. From I can't to how can I? From I'm always broke to I'm learning to manage and grow money. Now, here's the next level. Mindset without machinery is just a pretty cage. You feel better, but nothing in your bank account actually changes. So in this video, we're going to wire your beliefs into behavioral systems that automatically move you toward wealth, even when you're not feeling motivated. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Your brain did not evolve to build wealth. It evolved to keep you alive. In the past, the safest move was eat now, not later. Take the guaranteed reward. Avoid uncertainty at all costs. In modern life, that wiring backfires. Wealth requires delayed gratification, not instant consumption. Wealth requires investing in uncertain futures, not just safe comforts. Wealth requires long-term planning, not moment-to-moment survival. Neuroscience shows that the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for impulse control and long-term planning, has to override the fear-driven parts that scream, spend it now. Play it safe. Don't change anything. If you try to do that with willpower alone, you burn out. You might be disciplined for a week. Then one bad day hits, and you default to old patterns. Wealthy people understand something different. They don't trust their willpower. They trust their systems. Remember this line from part 2. Money doesn't rise to your goals. It rises to your identity. Identity is the root. But a root without a structure never becomes a tree. So the sequence looks like this. 1. Identity, I am someone who builds wealth. 2. Systems, automatic behaviors that prove it. 3. Income, the world's response to your consistent actions. People stuck in scarcity reverse it. 1. I'll change when I make more money. 2. So they create no systems. 3. Their identity stays. I'm just barely getting by. And identity always wins. So part 3 is about building systems that are so simple and so automatic. They practically force your identity to upgrade. First system, automate the parts your future self will avoid. Behavioral finance research shows that when saving and investing are automatic, people save dramatically more, not because they became disciplined, but because they didn't have to decide every month. This is how you stop thinking poor at a structural level. Step 1, the no decision money flow. Set up your income like this. Money arrives into account A. A fixed percentage automatically moves to OA future meet savings/investment account. OA safety emergency buffer. Whatever is left is what you're allowed to live on. No, I'll save if something's left. That's scarcity code. Wealthy identity says, I pay my future self first. My present self learns to function within what remains. Even if the amount is tiny at first, 1%, 2%, 5%. The message to your brain is massive. I am someone who builds wealth consistently. Neuroscience calls this repetition-based rewiring. Tiny, repeated behaviors literally strengthen the circuits for long-term thinking. Step 2, escalate without feeling the pain. Programs like Save More Tomorrow show that people save more when increases happen automatically from future income instead of current money. You can mimic this personally. Every time your income rises, increase your automatic future me transfer by a small percentage. Do it once. Lock it in. Forget it. No drama. No big decision every month. Just systems quietly turning a poor brain into a builder brain. Saving is defensive wealth. Earning is offensive wealth. A poor identity focuses only on cutting expenses. A wealthy identity asks, how can I increase what flows to me through my skills? We're going to build a simple earning expansion system. Step 1, define your value vehicles. List 3 ways your skills can create money this year. Your main job or business. A skill you can package, consulting, content, templates, teaching. A long-term asset, book, course, digital product, licensing, etc. This tells your brain, money doesn't only come from one door. Scarcity says, one door. Abundance says, many doors. Step 2, the 15-minute wealth block. Every day, schedule one 15-minute block labeled Increase Earning Power. In that time, you do exactly one of these. Learn one micro skill that makes you more valuable. Improve one offer, email, sales page, or pitch. Reach out to one person who could open an opportunity. Create one tiny asset, a post, a script, a lead magnet, etc. The wealth gap is not just about how hard you work. It's about how often your brain is trained to think. How can I increase value and income today? 15 minutes a day sounds small. But 15 minutes times 300 days is 75 focused hours of wealth-building thinking in a year. Most people spend 75 hours scrolling content that reinforces their scarcity. Okay, let's talk about the part no one likes to admit. What about when money does rise? And you mysteriously find a way to make it disappear? You get a tax refund, a big order, a bonus. And 2 months later, you're back at zero. Behavioral finance calls this mental accounting and loss aversion. You treat extra money as play money. You feel more pain losing money than pleasure gaining it. So you unconsciously avoid looking at numbers or making strategic moves. We don't fix that with shame. We fix it with a buffered decision system. Step 1, wait 48 hours. Create a rule. Any purchase above Indian rupee X/$X waits 48 hours. Why? Because this gives your prefrontal cortex time to come back online. So you can decide with the wealth-building part of your brain. Not the panicked or impulsive part. Step 2, split every win. Every time money comes in that feels like a win. 50% goes to future me, savings, investing, debt reduction. 30 to 40% covers actual needs. 10 to 20% is guilt-free enjoyment. This does 3 things. 1. Trains your brain to enjoy wins without blowing all of them. 2. Links pleasure to building wealth, not destroying it. 3. Reinforces the identity. When I receive money, I make wise moves automatically. Marie Forleo. You are not punishing yourself. You are parenting your financial nervous system. Under all of this sits identity. One powerful idea from modern money psychology says, your income is not capped by your job. It is capped by your identity. Scarcity identity sounds like, I'm just trying to get by. I'm bad with money. I'm not that kind of person. Ownership identity sounds like, I'm someone who learns wealth skills. I'm someone who knows where my money goes. I'm someone who makes decisions future me will respect. Notice. We're not saying, I'm rich right now. We're saying, I'm the kind of person who behaves like a builder. Then the systems you just designed become the proof. Automatic transfers, I'm someone who invests in future me. 15-minute wealth block, I'm someone whose skills are always leveling up. 48-hour rule plus split wins, I'm someone who doesn't self-destruct when money arrives. Identity systems income. Not the other way around. So, let's be brutally honest. Thinking poor is not just about believing you'll always be broke. It's about quietly living as if your future doesn't matter. Every time you say, it's only a small amount, it doesn't count. I'll start saving when I earn more. What's the point? It'll all go anyway. Your brain receives the same command. Do not build anything permanent for me. If you're still watching, it means something in you is done with that. So here's your part 3 challenge. 1. Comment. I'm building systems, not just dreams. And add one system you're installing. Automatic 5% to future me. Or 15 minutes daily on earning power. 2. Implement one system in the next 24 hours. Oh, set up a tiny automatic transfer. Oh, schedule your daily 15-minute wealth block. Oh, activate your 48-hour rule for big purchases. Don't wait until you feel ready. Readiness is a luxury of abundance. Systems are the tools that create abundance. And if you want part 4, where we go into relationships, environment, and social circles that either reinforce thinking poor or pull you into wealthy identity. Tell me in the comments. I'm ready for part 4. Because from this point forward, you're not just changing thoughts. You're changing your defaults. And once your defaults change, your bank account eventually has no choice but to catch up.
Yeah, your internal architecture is now optimized, but your external environment is highly contagious. You can have a millionaire's mindset, but if you are surrounded by broke energy, gravity will pull you down. Your social circle acts as, yes, hidden financial advisor. It's time for environment audits.
You can fix your mindset. You can build your systems. But if your environment is wired for scarcity, your brain will quietly drift back to broke. Because here's the harsh truth. You don't just inherit your family's eye color. You inherit their money behavior. And your social circle is quietly programming your bank account every single day. In part 1, you realized money follows your story, not your IQ. In part 2, you exposed that story and began rewriting it. In part 3, You built systems so you don't need willpower to act wealthy. Part 4 is about the invisible force no one warns you about. The jokes your friends make about rich people. The way your family reacts when you talk about earning more. The social media feeds that normalize spending, flexing, and debt. Psychologists call this social context and environmental cues. The tiny signals around you that shape your financial decisions without you noticing. If you don't control this, your brain will try to build wealth on top of a social life that keeps dragging you back to just surviving. Let's start with something nobody wants to admit. You spend like the people you sit with. Research on social dynamics shows that your friend group silently sets the normal level of spending, saving, and risk you feel comfortable with. If your circle normalizes debt and impulse spending, you will too. If your circle normalizes saving, investing, and talking about opportunities, you adapt upward. One article called your social circle an implicit financial advisor. Not because they give you advice, but because they give you scripts. We deserve this, just put it on the card. No one our age is really saving anyway. People like us don't talk about money. It's rude. You rarely question those scripts. Because the brain reads belonging as survival. The message underneath is simple. Be like us, or be alone. And your nervous system would rather stay broke with people than build wealth without them. Unless you consciously rewrite that rule. Now, let's talk about the most emotional layer, family and love. Money psychologists point out that most of your beliefs about wealth come from family dynamics and early experiences. Fights about bills, silent tension around debt, casual comments like, "Rich people are selfish. We're not like those people. Be grateful, wanting more is greedy." Learning theory says you absorb these beliefs like a sponge. The adult you might say, "I want abundance." But the child in you remembers. When money came up, people got scared, angry, or ashamed. So now, as an adult, you may feel guilty when you start earning more than your family. Hide your financial wins to avoid jealousy or conflict. Stay small because you equate wealth with rejection or code words like "you've changed." In relationships, money becomes a mirror. One partner spends to feel alive, the other saves to feel safe. One avoids money talks, the other begs to plan. Underneath both, survival wiring and old scripts. None of this means you have toxic people. It means you have unspoken money agreements running your life. Now add social media. Psychology research on spending shows that people inflate their lifestyle to match what they see around them, especially peers and influencers. Your feed is not harmless entertainment. It is a financial hypnosis machine. Perfect trips on credit. Cars on EMI. Unboxing videos filmed in rented apartments. Soft life content with hard debt behind the scenes. Every scroll whispers, "Everyone else is doing it. Why aren't you?" This is called lifestyle inflation. When your spending rises with, or even faster than, your income. So you never actually feel richer. You earn more, but feel the same stress. Because your environment taught you that looking rich is more important than being free. If you want to stop thinking poor, you must stop pretending your environment is neutral. Right now, do a quick money environment audit with me. Grab a notebook and create 4 lists. 1. People who normalize chaos with money. Always broke but always flexing. Make fun of saving or trying too hard. Say things like, "YOLO, just spend it." 2. people who normalize growth with money. Talk about ideas, not just purchases. Invest, save, plan, or at least try to. Don't shame you for wanting more. 3. Digital environments. Accounts that trigger comparison and impulsive spending. Accounts that teach skills, investing, business, or psychology. 4. Physical cues. Credit cards in easy reach. Shopping apps on your home screen. No visual reminder of goals, only bills and notifications. What you're looking at right now is not just a list. It is your financial weather. If your weather is constant storm, debt jokes, we're all broke, flexing, pressure to spend, then stop blaming yourself for not feeling abundant. You're not broken. Your environment is misaligned. Here's where it gets delicate. You don't have to cut off everyone you love to become wealthy. But you do have to change the gravity in your life. Think of it like this. Some people are your history. Some people are your healing. Some people are your horizon. You need all three. But if your entire circle is history and chaos, you will keep trying to build a future in a room designed for the past. So how do you upgrade your financial circle without acting superior or fake? 1. Add, don't just subtract. Start following, listening to, and spending time with people who talk openly about money without shame. Celebrate your wins instead of shrinking them. Think in terms of opportunity, not constant crisis. This can be 1 mentor online, 1 group chat about growth, 1 accountability partner who shares goals. 2. Change the conversation, not the person. With your existing friends/family, you can gently shift topics. What would you do if an extra 50,000 Indian rupees/$5,000 showed up? What's 1 money mistake you never want to repeat? What's 1 financial goal you're secretly scared to say out loud? You're not forcing them to change. You're inviting them into a new script. 3. Set invisible boundaries. You don't need a big speech like, "I'm cutting you off, you're financially toxic." You just stop going on every expensive outing you can't afford. Stop laughing along when people shame ambition. Stop seeking money advice from people who hate how they've handled money. Love them, but don't let them program your future. Now let's get practical and aesthetic. You are going to design an environment that quietly repeats. I am someone who builds wealth and lives free. 1. Visual cues. Put your key money goal where you see it daily. Debt-free by Indian rupee X/dollar X invested by. First Indian rupee X/dollar X month for my skills. Keep your Future Me account visible on your banking app, not hidden behind 5 taps. This tells your brain, we are moving somewhere specific. 2. Friction for bad habits. Behavioral experts suggest you make negative behaviors harder and positive behaviors easier. Cash and Coffee Club. So you remove saved cards from shopping sites. Log out of impulsive spending apps. Delete window shopping apps from your home screen. Keep a written list, things I want, review in 48 hours. You're not punishing yourself. You're protecting future you from present use impulses. 3. Ease for good habits. Bookmark your investment/budgeting dashboard. Keep your money notebook or iPad within reach of where you relax. Save playlists, podcasts, and channels that teach money and psychology so you can press play in 1 tap. You're turning wealth into the path of least resistance. Let's strip this all the way down. You are not just trying to stop thinking poor. You are trying to stop living in a reality that only makes poor thinking feel normal. You can Rewrite your story. Build your systems. Learn the strategies. But if every notification, every conversation, every weekend plan pulls you back into "we're all broke anyway" energy, your nervous system will eventually surrender. So here's the real decision part 4 is asking you to make. Do I want comfort in the old circle? Or do I want courage in a new environment? Because most people would rather be poor together than grow and risk being misunderstood. If you feel that tension, it means you're standing in the doorway. Behind you, familiar jokes, old stories, predictable struggle. In front of you, people who talk differently about money. Who don't mock ambition. Who see wealth as a tool, not a personality. So here's your challenge. 1. Comment, "I choose a rich environment." And tell me one change you're making. I'm muting flex content. I'm starting a growth chat. I'm saying no to one expensive plan this month. 2. In the next 24 hours. Unfollow 5 accounts that trigger comparison and impulsive spending. Follow 5 accounts that teach skills, wealth, or psychology. Send one message to someone who thinks bigger than you and say, "Can we talk money and goals this year?" You don't need to disappear from your old world. You just need to anchor yourself in a new one strongly enough that your brain no longer believes, "If I grow financially, I'll end up alone." Because once your mind understands that you can be wealthy and deeply connected, that you can have money and empathy, wealth stops being a threat and simply becomes an expression of who you're becoming. If you're ready for part 5, where we go into emotional blocks like guilt, shame, and fear of visibility around money, type in the comments, "I'm ready to feel rich inside," and subscribe.
Yeah, now you have audited your circle. You know who is draining your wealth. But what about your internal goals? If you find yourself continually hitting a financial ceiling, or continuously hitting a financial ceiling, or self-sabotaging right before a breakthrough, you are likely dealing with a deep-rooted shame. Yes, your money trauma is not your fault, but healing it is your responsibility. Let's initiate the healing protocol.
You're not just fighting numbers. You're fighting feelings. You can read every money book, follow every finance channel, set every system, and still find yourself overspending, avoiding bills, or freezing every time money comes up. Not because you're dumb. Not because you're irresponsible. But because your nervous system learned, very early, that money is tied to shame, guilt, and fear. Part 5 is not about another strategy. It's about healing the emotions that keep pulling you back to broke, even when your logic knows better. In part 1, you changed your story. In part 2, you exposed your hidden money beliefs. In part 3, you built systems so you didn't need willpower. In part 4, you upgraded your environment and your circle. But there's still a problem. Every time you start doing better, something in you gets scared, overwhelmed, or guilty. And you pull back. That something has a name. Money shame. Financial guilt. Fear of success and visibility. Trauma responses disguised as bad with money. If you don't deal with this layer, you will keep rebuilding the same financial situation, no matter how many times you restart. Psychologists make a crucial distinction. Guilt says, "I made a mistake." Shame says, "I am the mistake." Guilt can be useful. If you overspent or ignored a bill, guilt can push you to fix it, to apologize to yourself, adjust, or take responsibility. But shame? Shame doesn't say, "I did something wrong." It says, "I am wrong." Research on financial shame shows that when people feel ashamed about money, they are more likely to avoid bank apps, ignore statements, and disconnect from their finances completely. That means the more ashamed you feel, the less you look at money. The more chaos grows in the dark, the more ashamed you feel. This is called a shame spiral. So if you've ever thought, I'm just bad with money, I'll never get this right, I always screw it up, you're not describing your personality. You're describing a nervous system stuck in a shame loop. Money doesn't just hit your mind. It hits your body. Therapists who work with financial trauma describe patterns like overspending as soothing, shopping when stressed, lonely, or anxious. Financial avoidance, not opening bills, not checking balances, delaying decisions. Freeze response, feeling paralyzed when trying to budget or plan. One article put it perfectly. You're not bad with money, you're in a trauma response. Your brain is not thinking, what's the best financial move? It's thinking, how do I stop this feeling right now? Swipe the card for a dopamine hit. Buy something to feel worthy or in control. Look away from the bank app so the panic quiets down for a moment. The relief is real, but short-lived. Then comes more shame, more fear, more self-attack, which pushes you back into the same coping behaviors. This is why you can know exactly what you should do with money and still not do it. You're not fighting laziness. You're fighting your nervous system's survival strategy. Now let's talk about a quieter, more hidden fear. The fear of what happens if you actually win. People talk a lot about fear of failure. But money psychology also talks about fear of success and visibility. If I earn more, people will expect more from me. If I get rich, I'll become a target. If I make it and lose it, I'll look like a joke. Even very wealthy people secretly worry about losing it all, being judged, or being seen as bad or greedy. So your brain quietly reasons. If staying small keeps me safe from jealousy, judgment, or pressure, maybe it's safer not to grow financially at all. This fear can show up as procrastinating on opportunities, pulling back right when things start working, undercharging so no one can accuse you of taking too much. Again, this isn't stupidity. It's emotional self-protection. Your brain is trying to protect you from rejection, embarrassment, being seen and then criticized. So it quietly negotiates. Let's just stay at a level that doesn't attract too much attention. Enough theory. Let's walk through a simple healing protocol you can start today. Step 1, name the emotion, not just the number. Next time you feel triggered around money, before you open the app, reply to the bill, or avoid the conversation, pause and ask, is this guilt, I did something? Or shame, I am something? Say it out loud if you can. This is guilt, I overspent. This is shame, my brain is telling me I am a failure. Research shows that simply labeling an emotion activates parts of the brain that help you regulate it. Shame thrives in vagueness. Once you name it, it loses some of its power. Step 2, switch from self-attack to self-repair. If it's guilt, ask, what is one reparative action I can take? Examples. Move a small amount to pay down what you can. Adjust next week's spending. Write down what you want to do differently next time. Guilt used properly says, I made a mistake, so let me repair it. If it's shame, your first action is not financial. It's emotional. You might say, I feel like I am the problem right now. That's shame talking. I am allowed to learn. I am not my past decisions. You cannot budget from a place of self-hatred. You have to move from I am broken to I am learning. Step 3. Tiny exposure instead of total avoidance. Financial shame spirals are fueled by avoidance. Ignoring balances, not opening mail, waiting until things are urgent. So you practice gentle exposure. Instead of avoiding all numbers, commit to looking at just one account. Instead of a full detailed budget, jot down 3 main expenses today. Instead of a 2-hour money overhaul, set a 5-minute timer and do one thing. You're telling your nervous system, we can touch this without dying. Over time, your brain stops associating money with pure threat and starts associating it with small, survivable actions. This is the part that sounds cheesy until you understand the psychology. You have to feel safer in your body before your brain will let you hold more money. One article on money and well-being explains how chronic financial stress can feed depression, anxiety, and constant self-criticism. If every time your income rises, your inner dialogue is, "Who do you think you are? You're going to lose this. People will hate you." Your nervous system will treat wealth as a threat, not a gift. And you will unconsciously find ways to get rid of it, just to feel normal again. So how do you begin to feel rich inside, even before the external numbers explode? Not by lying to yourself, but by practicing 3 inner signals. 1. Enoughness. Take 60 seconds each night to write, "Today, I had enough of." Support, food, knowledge, kindness, opportunities. This doesn't deny hardships. It tells your survival brain, right now, in this moment, we are not in absolute danger. That calm is the foundation for better decisions. 2. Worthiness. Write 1 sentence. Even if I have 0 Indian rupees/$0 today, my worth as a human is unchanged. That might sound obvious intellectually, but emotionally, most people have merged. Net worth equals self-worth. You're breaking that link. 3. Permission. Say this out loud. I am allowed to become financially secure without becoming a bad person. Many people secretly equate wealth with arrogance, greed, or losing empathy. Research on the psychology of wealth and empathy shows the relationship is complex, not automatic. Money doesn't erase your character. It amplifies it. If you are kind now, you can be kind with more. If you are thoughtful now, you can be thoughtful with more. Your nervous system needs that reassurance. Let's be honest. A lot of your money pain is not about spreadsheets. It's about moments you've never really spoken aloud. The time you maxed a card to feel less lonely. The time you lied about your balance because you were ashamed. The time you got scammed and never forgave yourself. The time you made money, and someone you loved made you feel guilty for it. So you built an identity that whispers, "I don't deserve to handle money well." Part 5 is your chance to answer that voice. Not with toxic positivity. Not with "I'm a millionaire in my mind." But with something much more powerful. Yes, I've made mistakes with money. Yes, I've been scared, ashamed, avoidant. And I am still worthy of learning, healing, and building something better. Financial research is clear. Shame makes people disengage and stay stuck. Compassion plus responsibility helps them re-engage and move forward. So here's your Part 5 challenge. 1. Comment, "I choose healing over shame." And, if you feel safe, add 1 sentence. "I forgive myself for dash with money." 2. Give yourself 1 compassionate action in the next 24 hours. Look at 1 account without attacking yourself. Write a letter to your younger self about money, acknowledging what they survived. Share 1 honest money feeling with someone safe, a friend, partner, therapist, or even in a journal. Your brain has heard "you're bad with money" 1,000 times. Let this be the first video that tells it the truth. You were never born bad with money. You were born into stories, stress, and systems that taught your body to panic around money. Now you're teaching it something new. That you can look at numbers without breaking. That you can grow without becoming a monster. That you can build wealth and stay human. If you're ready for the next level, where we combine everything from parts 1 to 5 into a complete stop thinking poor roadmap, type in the comments, "I'm ready for the blueprint," and subscribe.
With the guilt and trauma neutralized, the foundation is finally clear. You are a blank slate now. Now we install the master code. We are going to integrate everything using, yes, the layer rich brain model. This covers your identity, your beliefs, your habits, and your strategy. This is your new money blueprint.
You've changed your story. You've built your systems. You've upgraded your circle. You've started healing your shame. Part 6 is different. This is not just another episode. This is the blueprint. By the end of this video, you will have a step-by-step map to go from I think poor to I behave, decide, and live like someone who builds wealth on purpose. And once you see the full blueprint, you'll never again wonder, what do I do next with my money mindset? Here's what you've already done in this series. Part 1, expose that money follows your story, not your IQ. Part 2, identified your hidden money narratives. Part 3, installed systems so you aren't relying on willpower. Part 4, upgraded your environment and social circle. Part 5, started healing shame, guilt, fear, and trauma around money. You've been building pieces of a puzzle. Today, Part 6 puts those pieces together into one coherent framework you can run for the rest of 2026 and beyond. Think of this as your rich brain operating system. Psychology and behavioral finance both say the same thing. Money decisions are shaped by layers: identity, beliefs, emotions, habits, environment, strategy. Most people start at the top: strategy. Which stock? Which mutual fund? Which side hustle? But if the deeper layers are still running "I'm bad with money" or "people like us never really get ahead," you will sabotage every strategy you touch. So here's your 6-layer rich brain model. 1. Identity, who you believe you are with money. 2. Beliefs, the stories you tell about money. 3. Emotions, how you feel when money shows up. 4. Habits, what you repeatedly do with money. 5. Environment, who and what surrounds you. 6. Strategy, the specific financial moves you choose. We're going to move through each level and turn it into one clear action you can take this month. Identity is the root. Without it, everything else is fragile. Research and practical blueprints on identity-based habits all agree. You change your life faster when you focus on who you are becoming, not just what you are doing. So your first step is not a budget. It is a sentence. I am someone who dash with money. Not, I want to be. Not, I'll try to be. I am. Examples. I am someone who knows where my money goes. I am someone who treats money with respect, not fear. I am someone who builds wealth step by step. Pick one. Say it out loud daily. Write it at the top of your notebook. Make it your phone lock screen. You're not lying. You're voting for your future identity, one day at a time. Layer 2 is your belief script. Studies and expert work on money mindset blueprints keep repeating. Your old beliefs will keep leaking into new situations until you consciously rewrite them. So you do this simple exercise. Step 1. List 3 old beliefs. Finish the sentence. Deep down, I still believe. I'll lose it if I get it. I'm not the kind of person who gets rich. If I have more, someone else has less. Step 2. Rewrite each as learning beliefs. Instead of fake fantasies like, money rains on me every day. Shift from impossible possible. I'm learning how to earn money without burning out. I'm learning how to hold on to money without fear. I'm learning to see wealth as expansion, not theft. Why, I'm learning? Because your brain resists lies. But it accepts progress. Belief rewiring is not one big affirmation. It is repeated exposure to a new narrative. Layer 3 is your emotional wiring. Money blueprints that actually work don't ignore feelings. They integrate them. Your task: build a money calm ritual you use whenever you feel triggered. It can look like this. 1. Name it. Right now I feel shame/panic/guilt around money. 2. Ground it. Oh, 10 deep breaths. Oh, feet flat on the floor. Oh, one hand on your chest, one on your stomach. Oh, tell yourself, I can feel this and still make a wise choice. 3. Choose one gentle move instead of total avoidance. Oh, open one account. Oh, look at one number. Oh, take one small action, like moving a tiny amount or updating one line of your budget. The goal is not, never feel anything about money. It's, I can feel a lot and still stay in the room with my finances. Layer 4 is where things become visible. Behavioral finance and habit research are clear. Small, repeatable behaviors, especially when automated, beat heroic, inconsistent efforts. Your habit stack has 3 pillars. 1. Know your numbers, clarity habit. Top 1% financial minds know their numbers, not obsessively, but consistently. Once a week, schedule a 10 to 15-minute money check-in. Income this week. Main expenses. Current balance in future me account. One micro adjustment if needed. No judgment. Just data. 2. Pay future you first, automation habit. Set up automatic transfers. A fixed percent to savings/investments. A fixed percent to debt reduction, if relevant. You do it once and let the system run. Even if it's small, it sends a loud message. I am someone who builds wealth consistently. 3. Expand earning power, growth habit. Daily or at least 3x/week, give yourself a 15-minute block. Increase earning power. Use it to learn a skill. Improve or promote an offer. Build an asset, content, product, system. This transforms you from cutting costs to survive into raising value to thrive. Layer 5 is your ecosystem. Articles on wealth psychology and social dynamics echo the same warning. Your environment will always try to drag you back to its norm. So you adjust 3 things. 1. Social media diet. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison, fake flexing, or impulsive spending. Follow accounts that talk about skills, wealth psychology, and long-term freedom. Your feed becomes a teacher, not a temptation. 2. Conversation upgrade. Once a week, have one money growth conversation with someone. A friend who wants to improve. An online mentor or community. A trusted partner. Questions like: what's one financial win you had this week? What are you learning about money right now? You normalize growth. 3. Friction and ease. Make spending slightly harder, no saved cards, 48-hour rule for big purchases. Make wealth tasks easier, bookmarks, reminders, tools in one place. You don't just rely on discipline. You let your environment do half the work. Now, only now, do we talk strategy. By the time you reach layer 6, strategy stops being a desperate, get-rich-quick move and becomes a long-term plan you can actually stick to. Your blueprint for 2026. 1. Define a 3-year wealth vision. Not, be a millionaire tomorrow. More like, in 3 years, I want Indian rupee X/$X emergency fund. Indian rupee X/$X invested. 1 additional income stream from my skills. Write it. Date it. 2. Break it into 12-month targets. For the next 12 months. How much do you want in future me by the end of the year? What is one specific new income stream you want to launch or grow? What one major money habit do you want mastered? E.g., weekly check-ins, no consumer debt, etc. 3. Convert targets into monthly micro-steps. For each month, ask, what is the one main money task this month? Examples. Month 1, set up automation and complete first shame-free money audit. Month 2, build and test first small offer or side income experiment. Month 3, clean up one debt or subscription leak. Month 4, increase future me transfer by 1 to 2%. Month 5, join a community, course, or mentorship focused on skills or wealth. You're not guessing anymore. You're running a plan. Let's be real. For most of your life, money felt like chaos. It felt like something that happened to you, not something that flowed through you. This series, parts 1 to 6, has quietly been doing one thing. Taking money out of the category of magic, luck, or shame, and putting it into the category of identity, psychology, systems, environment, and repeatable actions. Here's what your new blueprint sounds like, all together. I am someone who builds wealth. I am learning better beliefs about money. I can feel big emotions and still stay present with my finances. I have simple systems that run even when I'm tired. I surround myself with people, content, and spaces that support my growth. I have a long-term plan, and I adjust it instead of abandoning it. That is what a rich brain sounds like. Not delusional. Not desperate. Steady. Intentional. Clear. So here's your part 6 challenge. 1. Comment, "This is my money blueprint." And add one line you're claiming. Oh, I am someone who knows my numbers. Oh, I am someone who pays future me first. Oh, I am someone who learns instead of shaming myself. 2. Save this video. Rewatch it with a notebook. Turn each layer into a checklist for the next 90 days. Because this isn't about hype. It's about building a life where you understand your mind. You respect your emotions. You run systems that work in your favor. You sit at tables where wealth is normal and kindness is non-negotiable. If you're ready for a live workshop or a dedicated series that walks you through implementing this blueprint step by step, type in the comments, "I'm ready to install my rich brain." And subscribe. Because from here on, every video will plug into this blueprint. You're not just trying to
Yeah, now the blueprint is installed. But let me warn you, the real test isn't today. The real test is the relapse. When a crisis hits, your brain will instinctively try to drag you back to what is familiar with you. That is back to broke energy. Yes, you need shock absorbers. Here is your emergency protocol to ensure You never regress.
You don't lose your rich brain on the day you run out of money. You lose it on the day you say, "See? I knew it. Nothing really changes for me." Part 7 is for that moment. The setback. The emergency. The bad month. The debt relapse. The unexpected crisis that makes you want to throw all your progress away and go back to what's the point. In parts 1 to 6, you built something powerful. A new story about money. Cleaner beliefs. Systems that move money in the right direction. A better environment and circle. Emotional healing around guilt and shame. A full 6-layer money blueprint. But now you've hit real life. A medical bill. A client backing out. A job loss. A market downturn. An old spending habit sneaking back in. This video is not about never falling. It's about becoming the person who doesn't stay down. Because stop thinking poor doesn't mean never struggle again. It means, even when I struggle, I don't surrender my identity. Psychology of relapse, whether in addiction, habits, or finances, says something brutal. Under stress, your brain runs back to the oldest, most familiar pattern it knows. So when money gets tight, it's normal if you feel, "I knew I'd mess this up. This proves I'm not meant for wealth." All that mindset work was fake. Your survival brain doesn't care about your blueprint. It cares about certainty. And old scarcity thoughts, even painful ones, feel safe because they are familiar. Financial articles on long-term success say the same thing. Most people don't fail because a plan doesn't work. They fail because a setback makes them emotionally regress. They stop checking money. They stop practicing habits. They abandon the plan completely. The real risk is not the setback. The real risk is the story you attach to the setback. Let's rewrite that story right now. There are only 2 narratives you can attach to a financial setback. 1. This proves I'm the same. 2. This proves I'm different now. Most people unconsciously pick the first. If I were truly changed, this wouldn't have happened. Real rich people don't go through this. I clearly haven't learned anything. But here's what the research and crisis-proof wealth guides actually show. Even experienced investors hit rough markets. Even disciplined savers get hit by life emergencies. Even high earners have bad quarters and dry seasons. The difference isn't no crisis. The difference is how fast they return to the plan. So here's your new line. Setbacks don't expose my identity. They expose the stage of the game I'm in. Amateur mindset. I failed, I'm done. Rich brain mindset. I hit turbulence, time to use my tools. When money blows up, an unexpected bill, sudden expense, lost income. You don't need the perfect move. You need to avoid the worst moves. Borrowing from relapse prevention psychology and long-term financial health, here's a 24-hour protocol you can follow. Step 1, freeze, don't flee, first 10 to 30 minutes. No impulsive loans. No revenge spending to feel better. No dramatic "I'll never get out of this" speeches. Sit down. Breathe. Put both feet on the floor. Tell yourself, this is a problem. It is not my entire personality. Step 2, describe, don't judge, next 30 to 60 minutes. Write facts, not emotions. I received an unexpected bill of $. My income dropped by this month. I overspent by on . No adjectives like stupid, hopeless, or disaster. Just data. Research on regret and money shame shows that naming specifics reduces emotional intensity and helps you think clearly again. Step 3, protect the foundation, next 1 to 4 hours. Your emergency moves are simple. Protect food, housing, essential bills. Pause non-essential subscriptions or plans. If possible, avoid adding new high-interest debt in panic. You're not redesigning your future yet. You're putting a bandage on the wound so it doesn't bleed out everywhere. Once the shock dips, you move from emotion structure. Long-term financial health guides say this clearly. People who stay out of permanent collapse have pre-decided rules for crises. Let's create your basic money emergency plan. Rule 1, the 3-call rule. When crisis hits, instead of spiraling alone, you connect. One person for emotional support. One person for practical brain, friend/mentor who thinks calmly. One person or resource for professional guidance if needed, advisor, helpline, debt counselor, etc. Shame says, hide. Rich brain says, use support. Rule 2, the priority triangle. Any money crisis gets filtered through 3 questions. 1. How do I stabilize this month? 2. How do I prevent this exact problem from repeating? 3. What is one thing I refuse to sacrifice, mental health, integrity, etc.? For example, stabilize, call the company, ask for a payment plan. Prevent. Adjust automation, set a buffer, or update your earning plan. Protect, I will not destroy my sleep or relationships over this. Rule 3, no nuclear decisions for 7 days. You commit. No quitting your plan entirely. No burning down all savings out of panic. No, I'll never try again decisions. You can adjust the blueprint. You don't throw it in the fire. Now let's talk about habit relapse. Maybe you went back to comfort spending. Stopped your 15-minute increase earning power block. Ignored your weekly money check-ins for a month. Old you. I knew it. I'm not disciplined. Forget it. Rich brain you does something 1% of people do. You run a post-game review instead of a shame festival. Borrowing from performance and goal psychology guides. Answer 3 questions. 1. What was happening in my life when I relapsed? Oh, stress? Loneliness? Burnout? Illness? 2. What did my brain get from this behavior? Oh, numbness? Pleasure? Escape? Identity? 3. How can I give my brain that feeling in a healthier, cheaper way next time? For example, if you overspent for comfort, swap in a comfort routine that doesn't trash your finances, walk, call a friend, journal, free activity. If you skipped check-ins because of fear, book a shorter check-in with a reward afterward. This moves you from I am the problem, I am the researcher. Researchers aren't ashamed when an experiment fails. They adjust and run it again. You can't crisis-proof the world. But you can crisis-proof your operating system. Wealth and mental health writers keep repeating this lesson from 2024 to 2025. People who handled crises best had both shock absorbers and review routines. So you build 1. A shock absorber. Even a small emergency fund 1 month, then 3 to 6 months over time. Is not just financial. It's psychological. It tells your brain, we can handle a punch without dying. You start tiny if you must. But you mark this clearly. This account is not for fun. It is for keeping future me calm. 2. A regular reset day. Once a month, you schedule a money reset day. Review the last month, income, expenses, automation. Update your 3-year and 12-month goals slightly if life has changed. Acknowledge 1 win, 1 lesson, and 1 adjustment. This turns your financial life into a series of iterations, not random chaos. 3. A meaning check. Psychology of money articles warn. When money becomes the only goal, you end up in permanent anxiety and dissatisfaction. So once in a while, ask. What is money for me? Freedom? Time? Taking care of people? Building something meaningful? Money is a great tool, but a terrible god. Your rich brain knows. I use money to build a life I respect. I don't exist just to build money. Here is what no one tells you when you start a money mindset journey. The real test is not how motivated you feel on day one. The real test is what you do the first time everything falls apart. Most people use setbacks as proof. Proof that they're cursed. Proof that they're not money people. Proof that nothing ever really changes. You're not most people anymore. You have a story you chose. Beliefs you are rewriting. Systems that quietly move money in the right direction. A circle and environment you're upgrading. Emotional awareness of shame, guilt, and fear. A blueprint you can follow in 90-day cycles. So when life hits your wallet, this is your new identity statement. I am not a person who never falls. I am a person who never stays who I used to be. Here's your Part 7 challenge. 1. Comment, I refuse to go back to broke energy. And complete this sentence. Next setback, I will remember dash. 2. Screenshot or save this video. This is your break glass in case of emergency episode. When the next crisis comes, and it will, you come back here before you decide who you are. Because in the end, money will fluctuate. Markets will move. Jobs will change. Opportunities will come and go. But the richest thing you can build is a mind that says, I am allowed to learn from every mistake. I can protect my peace while fixing my finances. I will adjust my plan, not abandon my future. If you're ready for a final consolidation episode, where everything from parts 1 to 7 becomes one printable, trackable roadmap, type in the comments, I'm ready for the Rich Brain Roadmap. And subscribe. Because this series isn't hyping you for one good month. It's training you to become the kind of person who can walk through financial storms and still say with a calm, grounded nervous system, I may bend, but I don't break back into the person I used to be.
Yeah, you are now crisis proof. But elite performance isn't just about surviving setbacks. It's about aggressive daily momentum. To lock in this new reality, you need an identity-based ritual stack. Yeah, this is the minimum daily win requirement. Do this every single day to cement your new wealthy reality.
Mindsets don't stay changed just because you watched a series. They stay changed because of what you do every single day. Part 8 is not theory. This is your daily rich brain routine. If you've ever said, I know what to do, I just don't stay consistent, this episode is your answer. Because wealthy thinking is not one big breakthrough. It's tiny, repeatable rituals that rewire your brain for abundance. In parts 1 to 7, you built the architecture. Story. Beliefs. Emotions. Systems. Environment. Blueprint. Setback protocol. But architecture without rhythm collapses. Money psychology and habit research agree. Lasting change comes from small, daily habits that are easy enough to repeat and meaningful enough to matter. So in this video, you're getting a do this daily, weekly, monthly checklist to keep your brain in rich mode, even when life is noisy. Think about your teeth. You don't brush once in January and say, "Done for the year." You brush every day, not because your teeth are broken, but because without maintenance, decay is guaranteed. Your money mindset is the same. Articles on money habits and mindset say it clearly. Tiny, consistent rituals reduce anxiety. They keep money from becoming constant background stress. They help you feel in control without obsessing. Without rituals, you drift. Drift back to avoidance. Drift back to panic. Drift back to "I'll deal with it later." With rituals, you return. Return to clarity. Return to intention. Return to your blueprint. Let's start with your mornings. We're not doing a 2-hour, aesthetic routine for social media. We're doing something you can do half asleep, in 5 minutes or less. Inspired by daily money mindset habits and 21-day challenges. Step 1 to 60-second money check, 1 minute. Look at one number. Your current future me balance. Or your total income expected this week. Or one key goal, like X saved so far. Say out loud, "I see it. I've planned for it. I'll act if needed." This turns vague dread into one concrete fact. Step 2, identity sentence, 1 minute. Repeat your chosen identity from part 6. I am someone who knows where my money goes. Or, I am someone who builds wealth consistently. Feel the difference between "I wish" and "I am." Step 3, today's one money intent, 2 to 3 minutes. Ask one question. What is one small money-aligned action I can take today? Examples. Track today's expenses. Do my 15-minute earning power session. Say no to one impulse purchase. Move a tiny amount to future me. Write it down or type it in your notes. That's your minimum win for the day. If everything else goes wrong and you still do that one thing, you stayed on the game board. This is the non-negotiable block that changes everything. Habit and wealth research shows that tracking progress and taking small steps toward long-term goals triggers motivation and keeps you committed. Your 15-minute wealth block is simple. Set a timer. Label it Rich Brain Time. You choose one of 3 modes. Mode A, Clarity Mode, Admin. Log yesterday's expenses. Check that your automation ran. Look at your progress against one monthly target. This keeps you from drifting into fantasy. You always know roughly where you are. Mode B, Growth Mode, Skills and Earning. Learn one concept that can increase your earning power. Improve one offer, pitch, or piece of content. Reach out to one potential client, collaborator, or employer. This reminds your brain daily. Money comes from the value I create, not just the hours I trade. Mode C, Healing Mode, Emotions and Mindset. Journal about one money fear and answer it. Write to your younger self about money and forgive one past decision. Practice the name, ground, tiny step sequence from part 5. You don't need to do all 3 every day. You rotate based on what you need. But those 15 minutes, repeated, are how you live the blueprint, not just understand it. Your brain loves closure. Daily money habits experts talk about the power of a micro-wins log. One line, every night, capturing even the smallest success. At night, ask. What is one money win from today, no matter how small? Examples. Said no to impulse buy at checkout. Checked my account instead of avoiding it. Did my 15-minute wealth block. Talked honestly about money with a friend. Write one line. Why this works. It trains your brain to notice progress, not just problems. It creates a positive feedback loop. I'm someone who takes small smart actions. On bad days, it stops you from collapsing into, I did nothing right. There is always one win. At the end of the week, skim your micro wins log. You will see evidence that you've changed, even when your emotions say otherwise. A rich brain is not built on vibes. It's built on checklists you actually follow. Pulling from financial checklists and annual reset guides. Weekly checklist, 15 to 30 minutes. Once a week, schedule a money meeting with yourself. Review. Income this week. Spending versus your rough plan. Progress on one key goal, debt, savings, investing. Ask. What worked this week? What stressed me? What can I adjust next week? Decide. One specific focus for next week. E.g. No food delivery, sell one unused item, promote one offer. Monthly checklist, 30 to 60 minutes. Once a month, do a deeper reset. Update your net worth or at least your future me balance. Check automation, are your transfers still right for your income level? Adjust one goal if life has changed, no shame, just reality. Celebrate one meaningful milestone, even if tiny, first $1,000 saved, debt down by 5%, consistent tracking for 30 days. The goal is not perfection. It's contact. Every week and every month, you are in contact with your money and your plan. Here's where this becomes bigger than just you. Daily money challenges and mindset resets work best when people do them together. So consider this your Stop Thinking Poor 21-Day Rich Brain Challenge. For the next 21 days. Morning. 60-second money check. Identity sentence. 1 money intent. Daytime. 15-minute wealth block, any mode. Night. 1 micro win line. Weekly. 15 to 30-minute money meeting. Monthly, if your 21 days cross into a new month. 30 to 60-minute money reset. Invite your audience, your friends, or your partner to do it with you. You can even say, comment Rich Brain 21 if you're in. We'll use this video as our home base. Here's the truth. You don't build a rich brain in the moment you feel inspired. You build it in the boring, quiet minutes when nobody is watching. When you open your account instead of avoiding it. When you move $200 to future you instead of spending it to impress strangers. When you log a tiny win instead of rehearsing a tired, shameful story. Wealth psychology and habit science say the same thing. You are not the sum of your intentions. You are the sum of your repeated actions. This Part 8 routine is how you turn every day into a vote. Vote for clarity over chaos. Vote for action over avoidance. Vote for identity over impulse. So here's your Part 8 challenge. 1. Comment, I'm installing my daily rich brain. And add which part you're starting with. Oh, morning ritual. Oh, 15-minute wealth block. Oh, nightly micro win log. 2. Share this video with one person who keeps saying, I know what to do, I just don't stay consistent. Tell them, let's do 21 days of this together. From this point on, your mornings will remember who you are becoming. Your days will contain at least one small act of wealth. Your nights will end with proof that you are changing. And if you want a printable or Notion-style tracker for this entire rich brain routine, type in the comments. I want the rich brain tracker. Because this series was never about hype. It's about building a life where one day, you wake up and realize. I didn't just stop thinking poor. I quietly became the kind of person whose default settings are rich in awareness, rich in habits, and rich in the way I move through the world.
Yeah, those daily micro wins will radically shift your identity over the next 21 days. But we need to define the ultimate end game. Why are we doing all of this? Yeah, it's not for a luxury car. It is not for a watch. It is about changing your bloodline forever. Real wealth is legacy. Let's build yours. You didn't do all this work just to flex a car on Instagram. If you have watched this far in the series, your soul already knows. Real wealth is not how loudly you can spend. Real wealth is how deeply your money outlives you. This part 9 is where we stop talking about rich brain and start talking about rich legacy. Let's zoom out. Part 1 to 3 rewired your story and your systems. And part 4 and 5 in this series healed your environment and emotions. The part 6 gave you the full money blueprint. A part 7 taught you how not to break when life hits. And the part 8 turned it into a daily rich brain routine. Now the question changes from how do I stop thinking poor to what I am building all this wealth for? And who does it change besides me? Because the identity of wealth is legacy, not luxury. Let us start. Section 1. What real generational wealth actually is. Most people hear generational wealth and picture mansions and inherited millions. But modern generational wealth research says something different. Real generational wealth is money plus mindsets plus opportunities passed down on purpose. It's not just assets in a will, land investments or investments. It is also the financial literacy your kids inherit, the stories they hear at the dinner table, the options they have because you did the work earlier. One guide calls it a generational wealth mindset. The belief that wealth is not just for you, but for those who come after you. It means thinking in decades, not days. In other words, poor thinking asks, how can I feel rich today? Wealth legacy thinking asks, how do my decisions help my children's children make choices from power, not panic? Now come to section 2, from owner to steward. This is the first big identity shift of part 9. You stop thinking like an owner. Stop thinking like an owner and start thinking like a steward. Owner energy sounds like, it's my money, I earned it, I can do whatever I want. If I die with 0, that means I really lived. But steward energy sounds like, this money moved through me, but it doesn't end with me. My choices are writing the financial starting line for the people I love. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It means you hold a bigger lens. When you pay off a debt, learn to invest, build a business, heal your money trauma. You are not just changing your life, you are changing the default story of your entire bloodline, genetics, and DNA. You become the ancestor who decided our family story with money changes here. Now section 3. The 3 dimensions of rich legacy. Let's break legacy down into 3 parts you can actually work on. Generational wealth guides talk about 3 pillars. 1. Financial capital, the money itself. Savings, investments, assets, businesses. Or insurance, estate planning, protection. And 2, human capital, that is the people. Their education, skills, health, emotional resilience, their beliefs about work, money and worth. And 3, values and story capital. The meaning, family values and money scripts, what you tell them wealth is for. If you only pass down money but not wisdom or values, you are handing someone a powerful tool with no instruction manual. If you pass down only be grateful and don't want too much, you are handing them fear disguised as humility. Rich legacy means you build something, you explain it, you model it, you protect it, you connect it to a purpose larger than look at us. Now section 4, changing the script you pass down. Let's start where legacy really begins. The sentences that leave your mouth. Money mindset guides for parents say this bluntly. Stop saying things like, we will never be able to afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. People with money are selfish. Kids don't just hear words. They hear rules for reality. They hear rules for reality. Instead, shift to scripts like, if we want that, we will need a plan to save for it. Money gives us more choices and more responsibility. We use money to support what matters to us. Even if you don't have children, the people watching you, siblings, nieces, nephews, students, friends, are learning from you what money means. You can model panic or planning, shame or curiosity, flexing or stewardship. Ask yourself, if someone copied my current relationship with money for the next 30 years, would I be proud of the life they end up with? Think. If the answer stings, that's not failure. That's your call to be the cycle breaker. Now section 5, designing your legacy statement. Let us make this practical. Generational wealth and legacy experts often encourage a simple tool, a legacy statement. One paragraph that answers, what is my money actually for? Take a notebook and finish these prompts. You write it down. Be sure that you write it on white paper using black, if possible, with gel ink. 1. Write these prompts. The kind of life I want my future family to have is, I'm putting some dots here. You fill the dots, you connect the dots. One where nobody stays stuck in abusive situations because of money. Or one where education is funded and curiosity is encouraged. Or one where rest is allowed, not punished. 2. The values I want money to express in my family are ... You fill a bit. Freedom, generosity, creativity, stability, service, adventure, etc. And 3. I believe wealth is a tool for ... You write there, you fill up the blanks, or you may connect the dots. Buying back time, supporting causes we care about, creating options our parents never had. Put it together. Right. In my family, we use money to space or dots. You may connect the dot so that future generations can ... You fill up there. While always staying rooted in ... You fill up your own, or you connect the dots there. This is your North Star. Whenever you are tempted to throw money at status you don't really care about, you ask, does this serve my legacy statement or just my ego for 10 minutes? Next is section 6, practical legacy moves you can start now. You can start now. Legacy isn't just words. It is also boring. powerful paperwork and habits. Drawing from generational wealth guides and long view planning. Here are concrete moves you can begin even if you are not rich yet. Number 1, build a small but real freedom fund. Even a modest emergency fund or investment account creates a baseline so the next generation doesn't start at absolute zero. It says, in this family, we don't just survive, we prepare. 2, document your knowledge. Treat your lessons as an asset. Write down what you wish you would known or you had known at 18 about money. At your age 18, what you should have known about money. Record voice notes or videos explaining key decisions you made. Create a simple Google Docs or notebook titled Money Lessons for My Future Family. You are not just leaving money, you are leaving maps. 3, normalize money and we conversations. Wealth families increasingly use regular family conversations to align on values and purpose around money. You don't need millions to start this pattern. Once in a while, ask the people close to you. If our family had more financial freedom, what would we want to change first? What would we want to change first? Then, what does rich really mean to us beyond stuff? How can we use money in a way we would be proud to look back on? In a way we would be proud to look back on. You are practicing collective intelligence, not solo hustle. You are practicing collective intelligence, not a solo hustle. Fourth one, protect, don't just grow. Protect, don't just grow. Remember that. As wealth psychology pieces point out, the more you have, the more you fear losing it. The more you have, the more you fear losing it. Legacy thinking includes basic insurance, that is, basic insurance, a will or estate plan when appropriate. A will or estate plan when appropriate. When it is appropriate, the appropriate time was yesterday. So start now. This is appropriate time now. This second, clear instruction so your loved ones aren't left with confusion and chaos. You are not being morbid. You are being a good ancestor. Let us end with something most people never hear about money. One day, the numbers in your accounts will not matter to you anymore. At a certain age, in one day, what will matter is who felt safer because you existed. Who felt safer because you existed? Who had more choices because you changed your story? Who had more choices because you changed your story? Which cycles ended with you? And which new cycles started because of you? Which cycles ended with you? And which new cycles started because of you? Until now, Stop Thinking Poor has been about healing your past, upgrading your present, building your future. This part 9 adds one more layer to you. That is, I'm building a future for people I may never even meet. Think of that. Say aloud. This sentence you say aloud. Write it down on your notes in white paper with the black gel ink. If possible, with widened ink nib. Now say aloud. I'm building a future for people I may never even meet. That is a lot of step ahead where you are now. That is rich energy. So here is your part 9 challenge. Comment, I choose legacy over luxury. And if you feel brave, add one line of your legacy statement. Add one line addition of your legacy. Add to your existing legacy statement you have already written. In my family, we use money to ... You connect the dots, you fill the dots, that's yourself. Your inner self says. You change that to grow, to make a legacy of wealth to the future generations that you will never meet. Take one tiny legacy action. This week, start or add it to your Freedom Future Fund. That you can do. Even a small thing will do. Write one page of money lessons for your future family. Write one page of money lessons for your future family. Change one money phrase you say out loud around others. Change one money phrase you say out loud around others. Because, yes, you are learning to think rich. Yes, you are learning to act rich. But the final form of stop thinking poor is this. I am not chasing wealth just to escape my past. I am building wealth to rewrite what my last name means in the future. I am building wealth to rewrite what my last name means in the future. Write it down. Say it out. Make it practical. If you are ready for a final cinematic episode that weaves the entire series into one powerful story, from your first money wound to your future legacy. From your first money wound to your future legacy. You see? Your first money wound to the future legacy. Connect the dots. You will be changed. Actually, I'm sure. Type in the comments, I'm ready for the legacy movie, in which you are the hero of that movie. You are the hero or heroine of that movie. And subscribe, because this isn't about one viral video. It's about becoming the kind of person who quietly shifts their whole bloodline from survival. Becoming the kind of person who quietly shifts their whole bloodline from survival, their whole bloodline, genetics and DNA that you can change that from survival to, from survival to where? To stewardship, freedom and purpose. To stewardship, freedom and purpose. You may see this video twice or thrice and take the notes and change your future, change your today, change your present and change your future, because you have already changed your past. If you have watched this entire masterclass, your psychology has fundamentally shifted. Definitely. You are no longer part of the 73% trapped by their past. You are someone who dictates their own reality, your own reality. You now have the blueprint, the trauma healing protocols, and the daily rituals to build true generational wealth. But this is just the beginning. The architecture of elite success goes much deeper. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2 of this masterclass series where we elevate to the next tier of influence and power. Yes, next masterclass series. Remember, success is in luck. It is designed by you. Your success is designed by you. I will show you it in the next session.